Let's go this time. Operation Palace. To establish a presence in Ilosha, far west of Duran. If you find yourself passing through, it may be a opportunity for yourself to letter them and Ellen. One of the little flyers, now it's different. Please be increased. Your house has come to effect. But it's our hope that the hard-working focus is hard along with the private source of collectible, bringing us We'll go first. Actually, hold on to that thought. Just remember I've got something. Seem to know a girl named Zola. Would you be a sweet little thing born into poverty? She worked her tail off of my sister until she paid her last girlfriend. Recently she struck out on her own, renting out a corner of the hard place up. Girls got a rose for a coin and a match for anyone who around. And also be a girl's guardian. What if she was getting up tonight? We like nothing more to stick by her and get operation, but needless to say we have. What do you say? Ruining me. Cutscene. Yes, I'm Zoe. How did you know? I'm the famous. Am I famous? This time also somewhat terrible. Most certainly exciting. Oh, but pray tell. Don't you look after me? Oh, how sweet of her ass. And you come, oh, of course. Speaking of sweets, have you tried Elegant's pineapple pudding? It's so smooth and sensation, but what is, of course, thank you for asking. With the loan I took from Mistress Rowena, I rented out a room here in the cellar. A hard place. Can you guess what I'm using it for? Actually, let me tell you. I'm running an orphanage I call Menfina's Arms, because it's like he's holding an orphan, keeping him safe. Arms, get it? I'm still new to this place, and I've already learned so much. For one thing, running an orphanage is really expensive, so I must limit the luxury of clothing. Why, the last thing I was scared of pineapple pudding and hardsmith. This is about me. This is about the children. Everyone I could do for them, only for the had more gills in my coffee. Don't worry though. What sort of planning on it? Well, you're looking for at it. I'm starting my trading business right here in the corner of the hard place. I can acquire treasure and relics from room over, and sell them for wealthy collectors and fiddle some. Oh, if only I could marry a prince, all my words would be. Wait, what was that we're talking about? What are the suppliers, you ask? I'm just getting that I see, as I'm such a good term with Mr. Riona. You see, I was thinking of I could pay them in scripts, the House of Splendors. I haven't asked her yet, of course. I'm sure she would say yes. And we're really. You know, the thing about crafting too is I know this was Loa's luck. Although as lucky as the day when the new old man paid 10 times the sun worth, a whole 100 gil, just because I reminded him of his granddaughter. And what did I say? You'll do it. Sure. Oh, you're the best, absolute best. I know it wouldn't be a moment I saw your face within you on my side. Those House of Almost Splendors. I'm working on a name, and I will be turning a profit in no time. Menfina's arm will be spread wide and hold every poor orphan. Doesn't make it sufficient. So looking forward to doing business with you. Did I say that every collectible you bring to me, I'll pay you in scripts, redeem my Rowan's House of Splendors? I did, good, because that's exactly what I'm doing. And the pays her hard-working employees, after all. No gil, just scripts. Well, I can't remember her counting them. One script, two script, red script, blue script. She is drilled in Lola, following the footsteps. I just know it. I see the spark of curiosity. Ah, but Zola. Got any gil to your name? However, did you... Oh, I have like so many. Purchase... House Splendors. You can purchase an enormous flagon of pineapple juice for a low price of 130 scripts. You need food when you have pineapple juice. Delayed reaction. Oh, you're probably wondering what sort of treasure I'm looking for. Well, I'll put it this way. Zoa has her eyes set on exhaustion near eastern make it in design. A little boy's home in Near Eastern culture is nobility, but Zoa, the important not your friend. Remember, so are the children. Oh. Interesting. Love your work, and you will be like one crazy killer. Hell, there will be wow. Don't take it personally, but I have nothing before I went blood. Pulling your weight, I'll be willing to let to death, but I'm proper training when fighting a fool like me. If you are never. Once home to Charlene masters who fashioned architects with its hall, this workshop is now home to the Illuminati, its nasty band of goblins who would wield the ancient technology within their own nefarious ends. The Charlene settlement stretches across the western banks of Dalek, the home to Saint Monkinus Arboretum, and a center of education and scholarship. It leads back to the cities of learning that flourished in bygone times. The Cenobi, a towering monolith erected in tribute to the great scholar who has passed on, leaving behind the knowledge that he realm. The names of countless men of learning are etched in the mighty stone, along with the motto Charlene knows seeks no man. The spot where the melted snows of Alberta's spine flows emerge from the source of descent down the mountain, forming the countless tributaries that come through our as mighty Telek River. The name is said to come from the deity whose name the river bears, a magic pitcher from which pours the water of knowledge. Alright. Constructed by the Charlens to house the wheel of knowledge that have amassed their travels across the realm. Though the vast majority of the tombs are once aligned in its shells were carried back to the motherland in Exodus. It is said the forbidden text still slumbers in sealed vaults below. often. A primal force that stretches across the northern reaches of Darren Hinterland. Its rich verdure sustained by the precision of the Thalek Nai. Untouched by the man-made, its wild sands, those who would make their own challenge without braving a trek across the foreland. This is a botanic garden built by the Charlene, once was home to fauna and flora collected from the study of which we have numerous discoveries regarding our nature world. Sadly, it was abandoned in the Exodus, the teeming life within left to run wild and unchecked. Turn to nature. The Thalek River stretches north towards the Orne, while it spills over the Grand Waterfall. In the past studies, students would complete to see who could swim with the coastal cataracts edge without stumbling into the power torrent. A ban on entering the waters was eventually imposed after too many accidents. Nope, you bet no shit. The path of knowledge. The colossal village that was once bustling area of researchers, students, creators coming from the great library. The stone pillars suffered significant damage when the calamity reshaped the land, causing a portion of the walkway to crumble and collapse. An area of the hinterlands were clusters of stone columns shaped like the daggers from the earth. The scholars of Charlene have long been engulfed in the heated debate on whether the name was too simple and collegial, but a different one was never decided upon as the proposal began to exceed the columns in numbers. Look at enjoying a lot of enemy. The initial part about members of a Karak. He who fights with strength and be deep boundless. Like be a domain I quite understand myself. So in the essence we got a ridiculous contradiction. You attack in the air, manner you deem fit. Each supposes to strange and legendary beast. To which I believe one should be dropping by one. The heck? The trainee loved it when it is a strange legendary field. The idea, you can defeat the dummy, but you can defeat the fiend. In the principle, dummies don't hit back after all. And run and you pass, don't and you fail. It's not the Uh, reason. Oh my god, you've gotten a question, haven't you? Oh. You must go to me. The house around. I might consider it. Fortunately, I don't have to. You. Alright. Alright, B's here. Go. Alright, Alice. The second boss, I have no idea what the hell his gimmick was. Oh, big. Alright, I'll be attacked. Yay! Leading with a trap and look at the weather storm. You return to the web. There you go. There is a skill, it is a mighty one indeed. Fashion and mass from this and is unachievable. This is not all that Netherling accomplished. Netherling chases cruel. These Zandu are not like the cruel Vander brothers. Gentle Zandu is harmed by them. Give me your meaning. Alright, nice, I did a dungeon. What? I kinda want to do more dungeons, so. Fortuitous time, huh? Tara was briefing me on the search for our missing comrade. If we'd be so kind, then. Absolutely, you're pleased to find that Rel and his men have been making excellent progress. You remember how Philima helped me escape the crystal bracelet? Once that appears, well, according to Rel, she crept upon a bound of Rad Azine, and where she handed over, assures me that one be. As for Yida and Papa Limo, the remains of the Ling Perils have been found in Pearl Lane, and all pieces. Rel then must have disposed of. That would make sense. They could not risk. Well, for certain they fled to the shaft, though we still don't have a clue where. I see. What about Dankard and Menphilia? I'm afraid I have nothing to share about those two. It's not the doom and gloom. Good news is, this service of Charlian scholars, one of the students of Baldestin to aid us. See? I should very much like to meet the scholar. First, we must attend to the more pressing matters. So Emmerich has summoned 2 of those private audiences. The messengers did not specify which. Assuming you have no objections, maybe perhaps we can meet the scholar afterward. In case, I'll return to the Forgotten Knife for now. Things are liable to fall if. Hey there, it's been a while.
Thank you for coming. I wish to speak with you both in a place where privacy was assured.
We quite understand. What was it that you wished to discuss?
With my father's passing, the seat of the Archbishop lies vacant.
I take it.
So, in accordance with canon law, I have assumed his responsibilities.
It's a Kenan event.
I should stress that this is a temporary measure. It was never intended that the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights serve in this capacity indefinitely. Quite the opposite. The statutes specify that I should surrender my powers as soon as a conclave of the senior clergy and the high houses have named a new archbishop. But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
I confess I did not expect you to divulge quite so much quite so soon. The details of the Archbishop's plans, perhaps, but the true origin of the war and all it entails?
I too had concerns. But when the Warrior of Light is witnessed returning to the capital upon the back of a dragon, one's options are rather limited.
Yeah, we're sorry about that.
Mayhap I could have concealed certain details, but for how long? And at what risk? Should the truth have come to light in the meantime, how would the people have viewed my silence? After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy, I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for deception has passed. I only wish the people agreed. That some would deny the truth I had anticipated, but not this many. And among the few who acknowledged that my father had to be stopped, no small number questioned our methods.
If they suspect a coup, it will not be long before some turn to violence.
It has already begun, and that on both sides. Men and women of the cloth are being harassed in the streets. Some have even been assaulted in the broom. Hilda and her people have formed a watch to help us maintain order. But such measures will not prevent the unrest from spreading.
For all our talk of peace, the people remain frightened and confused. For their sake, we must bring the Dragonsong War to a definitive end.
Well, hopefully we can.
And we should be glad to help you, Sir Emmerich. But what precisely would you have us do?
We wish to treat with the dragons of Annex Trine. To that end, I would trouble you for an escort and an introduction.
Annex Trine? You would speak with Vidofnir then?
Did I just speak with her a few minutes ago?
We must needs open a dialogue between our peoples. Acting as my representative, Lucia will extend an invitation to their leader, that she might visit us here in Ishgard. Were she still with us, I would of course have beseeched Isel's assistance in this matter. But as she is not, I must ask that you aid us in her stead. Will you do us this favor?
Sounds good.
Thank you, my friends. Lucia, I leave the rest to you.
In the wake of the Archbishop's fall, the nation of Ishgard trembled, the faith of her people shrunken to its very core. For 1,000 years had they fought and died, certain of the justice of their cause, only to be told that their holy war was born of the sins of their forefathers. What then for those brave men and women, thus stripped of their righteousness but to despair, to deny the truth and decry its speakers? And what then for those whom they defamed but to hope on, to have faith in a brighter tomorrow? A tomorrow in which man and dragon might live together in harmony, then as distant as the very stars in the heavens.
Oh.
Yet while we dared to hope, deep within his lair the enemy lay, gathering his strength. Nidhogg, now possessed of his 2 eyes and the body of the Azure Dragoon, prizes to which he had laid claim at the very hour of the hero's triumph. As desperately as we sought the solace of peace, the great worm craved the misery of war. Nor was he alone in his misbegotten desire.
Yeah, not down. Suppose it's difficult this time. A little the land of the dragon cultists and its shrine. Have not agreed to escort me? The coming generation is far more. I confess, I myself ought to share the thought, yet even the longest of journeys. Okay, I must remember the plan. Yeah, very well. I shall see the. Let's go. I bid you. mission to annex, you say. I suppose that does take... But should you meeting with Vilder happen to end early, you might consider rendezvous with Estrella and Usher. You'll be there to receive our guests. Don't get me wrong, your meeting with the dragon is terribly important. This scholar just happens to be... I say we shall endeavor to join Estrella if we cannot. Let's get the hell out of me. We should cross with the West Highlands and make sail further. There we must stop and rest to replenish our supply. It's what we first felt to it with a lifetime. I imagine that it's the first time I stepped foot in Dravanian soil. But here I am, ready to test with the brothers and the sisters of my enemy. Oh well, I do know difficulty can be set aside the past, but it was I who first proposed recruiting to our cause. I questioned the wisdom of my words almost as soon as I uttered them. For a long time after that, here was a woman with the blood of the innocents on her hand, men and women and children all slain in the name of an implacable Lady Iceheart. Yet she acknowledged her misdeeds and agreed to join us in a common sense at our side. She fought in service to the greater good, even unto her dying breath. While that does not absolve her sins, I hope that one day she will be remembered not merely as a heretic, but as a misguided who... You ask much myself, you know. Yet you say that what might come to pass should... Yes, of course. We must press on there if you would follow me. Multiple times during my side quests. I was welcome here, friend of you. But this one I do not know. Pray forget to announce my visit. May I present you Lucia, first comrade of the Temple of Ishkar and our trusted friend. It is an honor to meet you, Valnier. I've come as an envoy of Sir Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, and acting leader of the Holy See. Indeed, you may speak, Knight. For 1,000 years, man and dragon have been locked in an endless cycle of bloodshed. To our shame, we've long believed your kin to be the artifacts of this war, but now we know the truth. That King Thordran and the Knights 12 did willfully betray and murder the Great War rested and shattering the peace between. For 1,000 years, our leaders conspired to conceal the truth of which was laid first bare the world light, the Zultra and Israel. Alas, the deception so intricately wrought cannot be undone in a moment, and our people labor to accept the truth. After the entity of war, who would dare dream that peace could at last be with? And yet we must, as Israel once did, we must make that dream a reality. We humbly beseech brothers to join hands with a friendship once more before the eyes of the people of a most unexpected invitation. I have heard your request, Knight. However, I cannot yet give you my answer. May I ask why? The matter contraries my desire. You must need be consulted. Moreover, the gnats grow bold. Even as they did before, I would not leave my people form. And then the bugs are like relentless. They will wait. After 1,000 years of war, we shall not give up on peace for want of patience. Fear not. Thou shalt have my answer within thy lifetime. So soon? My humble thanks. I shall bear your words to my lord forthwith until we meet again. Out of one thing, but another. Given the circumstances, I say that went rather well. To be frank, I'm surprised that our proposal was not rejected outright. Whether will be come of it remains, however. Perhaps I should take the opportunity to speak with some of the other dragons. But you do not need to wait for me. Our return journey holds no fear for me now. Well, if you have no further need of our service, we shall continue on to Charlian. We hope to welcome a scholar who has agreed to aid us in the search for our missing comrades. I pray your journey is swift and eventful. Thank you again for sparing I cannot think of no graver matter than the thousands of war on which our friends gave up their lives to see ended. Suffice it would say, I am not willing to make 1,000 this journey to ensure this is not in vain. Or that I have no doubt, Master Alphina, I hope the fates will not Oh, I know this character. Oh, I know this character. We have met a great this scholar after all. How delightful. I shall interested in mythical fighting. Assume he's privy to some new investigating techniques. In the event, the first order of business is to rendezvous with Y'shtola in Aralshire. I actually know this character. I've seen this character before, but like I don't know who this character is in the story, but I recognize this character's face. Another conspiracy and eventful journey, it would seem we are destined not late. Let's see this. I confess, I assumed your business at any time was any longer. Did you meet Vodner? As well, can be said that she must discuss her eminent proposal with Heresfelgar. Of course, she seemed amenable to the suggestion. What about Charlotte and Gert? Has she arrived yet? She has. When I explained that you would be joining us, she asked if she might use her time to explore. I agreed to meet her outside the front bridge. Probably to just we're back in Ishkan. We are early. Shall we wait? Alright, we're here. Do this. Let us do this, my friend. Oh, it's the homie.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
That's what you sound like.
You need not apologize. We arrived but a moment ago ourselves. Pray, allow me to introduce Krile, who has recently come from the Charlian motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue.
Seriously?
You must be the Warrior of Light.
Hello?
Yes, you certainly do look the part. A pleasure to meet you at last, sir. And who is that I spy but young Alpha No Levieux himself? I dare say someone's grown an ilm or two in my absence. Or are those lifts in your boots?
We, Miss Krile and I met at the Studium years ago. I shall forever be indebted to her for her sage guidance.
It was no small task keeping him out of trouble, believe you me. The youngest ever to enter the Studium, him and his sister, 11-year-old prodigies. Suffice it to say, social graces were not among his list of talents. Striding up to his seniors on his first day, head held high. What was it he said again?
Thank you, Krile.
For what? I haven't finished yet. Would you care to attempt a more dexterous deflection?
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
What are you hiding? What are you hiding, boy?
A bit much, but better. I can tell you have been putting your skills to use here in Eorzea. Henceforth, I trust you will dazzle me with your eloquence at the first time of asking. Right, on to more pressing matters. Finding Minfilia and the other missing scions.
I gather you have new information to share with us.
A new approach, actually. Tataru recounted the tale of your escape, and it gave me an idea. Simply put, assuming Thancred left some manner of trail when you whisked him away, as is almost always the case with teleportation magics, I am confident I can find and follow it.
Then what are you waiting for?
The wherewithal to do it. The fact is, my abilities aren't quite up to the task. Not in themselves, anyway. If I had Master Matoya's crystal eye, on the other hand...
Then let us all call on her forthwith. I think it best you explain your plan to her in person.
Alright. Get a better look. I can just the problem. I swear it doesn't look like a girl. I swear, I'm gonna be honest, like I can't tell. Did you say we headed to a cave, did you not? I'm certain there's a cave nearby. I see this message meaning us. Max potion. Just so much fast. I'm craft that list though. Whisper that are all true. They will have care when you are threatened. Hello, we're back.
Oh, is that trouble I smell? Or did you forget to wipe your boots on the way in?
Forgive us, Master Matoya. We will be sure to wipe them on the way out. And may I say how glad I am that age has not yet deprived you of your senses.
Ever so quick-witted, aren't we? To the detriment of your manners. Well, out with it then. What do you want?
Pray, allow me to introduce myself, Master Matoya. I am Krile, of the students of Baldessian. I hope you will excuse our unannounced visit.
Baldessian, you say? Ah, yes. The old coot set up shop on the Isle of Val, didn't he?
Regrettably, our order's headquarters and the Isle itself were obliterated by a magic of immense power. I have the blessing of light to thank for my own preservation.
Damn.
Krile, you too possess the Echo.
Oh, dang.
Well, yes, of course I do. Our order is devoted to uncovering the mysteries of Hydaelyn and interpreting her will, particularly through the study of her gift to us. It was in the course of these studies that I met and subsequently befriended Minfilia. She and I have rather a lot in common.
I had no idea.
You weren't supposed to. Not that I wanted to deceive you, you understand, but precautions had to be taken.
Yes, yes, that's all well and good, but you still haven't told me why you're here.
The students of Baldessian are gone, and there is naught I can do to change that. But the science of the Seventh Dawn can yet be restored, and my dear friend found. You have in your possession an ancient crystal of light, one you call your crystal eye. I believe I can use it to focus my abilities and locate one of the missing scions.
Right.
And there I was, thinking you might want to make use of my years of experience. Oh, wait here.
Long did I ponder the nature of this crystal and its familiar radiance. But never did I suspect it was a crystal of light.
On the cusp of an umbral calamity, souls blessed with the power of the Echo invariably appear. To aid these, her chosen warriors, Hydaelyn bequeaths to each a slither of her strength in the form of a crystal of light. But as her strength wanes, so too does the potency of her gifts. This crystal, born of an earlier era, is infused with a power far greater than those of this age.
You could travel the length and breadth of the land and not find a crystal even a fraction as pure. Its value is beyond measure, as are the risks inherent in its use.
No two manifestations of the Echo are alike. I, for example, can converse with beings of every shape and size, excepting beasts, contrary to what others would have you believe. Language has nothing to do with it, of course. Rather, I am sensitive to the whispers of the soul. Their intent, their very essence even, the traces of which served to guide the elementals to Y'shtola. Far-fetched though it may sound, I believe that with your crystal eye, I may be able to pick up where they left off and follow the remaining trail to Thancred. That is, if I have your permission.
Nice, Krill Cave.
Well, the poor sod's not going to find himself. So, as long as you don't drop it or take it out of my sight, you may do with it what you will.
Thank you, Master Matoya. Then let us begin. From the Black Shroud, the trail continues to the north and west, towards a mountain, the foot of Som Al.
The hell are they
It
doing
was
with
a
it?
near thing, but he was not deposited within the rock. I think.
The hunters of Tailfeather know those lands well. I say we begin our search there.
The hell did he get over there? No one ever comes on anymore. No, it's always saving this, preventing death, or mending the gods together. Anyone would I... Alright. I think it's Monkey warrior, but he is wounded when he last saw it. If any beasts were nearby when he emerged from the light stream, he would have heart. We had the forest of Ath. My grandfather and I used to go for walks. The last I could join him, considering everything he has done, taking me when I was an orphan, raising me, and giving me a name. If you didn't think of my parents' name Krill Baldessian, didn't you? Whatever. If I'm in a wilderness, my first instinct would be to search for plants. Ordinary, perhaps in a wounded state, he may have wished to risk climbing with strangers, on allegiance. Yet, even had Dankred chosen to remain in the forest, the hunters would surely have stumbled across this trail. Tailfeathers doesn't strike me as an isolated outpost, though. Merchants and traders pass through these reasonably regularly, do they not? In which case, we'll need to provide more dimensions. You're not Krill. I've already prepared several sketches of Dankred for that purpose. Impressive, you drew him from memory. Skill I acquired some years ago for reasons I no longer remember. I propose we split into two pairs. I will question the residents of it. After all, we shall gather a Lord of us findings. Man, he's certainly mature, hasn't he? Hard to imagine he was once a boy who practiced drawing for hours to impress young ladies. Anyway, we had best get started. Find me when you... Not seeing him around, sorry. Can't say I know that face. You've seen something of a warrior. I heard a tale the other day of a Highland Vageboy who fought on a battle by himself. The style. But I tell you, he was dancing with the beast. It was. Alright, we have an idea. But have you seen this man before? A Highland man, we're not exactly where you see. I just spied this one bloke right back, but didn't get a good look at his face. Beyond the forest along the west of Telfa, I remember thinking he was such a good hunter. The lad was making an effort over his tracks. We thought it would be wise to question as many as we are. Many have made camp in another location ideal for hunting game and receiving visitors. Nevertheless, upon cruise well spent, these have been countless signs of an exceptional, capable Highland hunter with whom no one is familiar with. Though no one has chance to see his face, his height and build match the same description as such as fighting prowess. So you heard some tales but that is what we want. Perhaps this is unrelated, but I heard rumors, curious tale of regarding a vast training. He came with Telfa in search for garments and quest for a man in refinement. Would seem rather a curious description of one of his kind. You're planning to send a vat to a market instead? Why would he do? Well, if you recall, you yourself emerged from Malaysia as naked as your name day. It is a scene I shall never. I'm going to. Is it now? I was pleased to see you. I mean, it was a simple statement of fact. It stated that the reason Duncan found himself in the same predicament, in any case, it had dealings with the vat. They should be able to tell us, no? One. Quite right. Even Alpha seems to recall the details of my return so vividly. I would rather he did not draw me with memory of talent or not. What in the hell is he doing? Well, what we're waiting for? From all we know, Thancred could be waiting. We must go. Let's see. Hunting, we will welcome you once more to Lorelei. We seek a man with whom certain dealings. How curious, the hunter tired of godly sport and pursue mortal prey. No, he is not prey, but a friend long missing. Good. He was a visitor from a vat, and whom he could trade many times. Truly, and you're quite certain it was this man. There's no doubt. The flesh-enclosed skin came to us from so all. lost and weak. He offered meat and hide in trades. In exchange, we tend to his wounds. He brought us much flesh, and so skilled hunter he was. Much flesh. When he asked for garment, we were glad to provide them. Where is he now? Gone to Loth Asgard. Not long ago, when we heard one mine has summoned our god once more. Raven has returned. One did say the gnats have grown as before, but what could they hope to accomplish by himself? Honorable Elder, we thank you for the... How can we repay this kindness if... Go, Great Hunter, let's gnats claim as a sacrifice.
Who else could be? Thancred! It could be Thancred! We must hurry!
Alright. Word of darkness. Oh dang.
This day, we reclaim the reins of history. This day, we rid ourselves of the Ascians forever!
Fools playing at heroes, all of you. Is this how you believe you can save your world?
We can and we will, Ascian. You shall see. Or perhaps you will not!
Dang.
So you are the warrior of light, the savior of Eorzea. It's a wonder you didn't come sooner, what with the primal and all. Lost a step, have we?
Have care. The ether moves strangely around him.
It would seem we share a common enemy. Mayhap you would tell us who you are.
Shall we show them?
Hey, Thancred.
Not very sporting of you to interrupt, but so be it. Mark well our faces, warrior of light, for we are the warriors of darkness, walkers of a different path, and we shall meet again.
Alright, can't wait.
Warriors of Darkness? Really?
Why do you look different?
Thancred, are you all right?
Pleasantries can wait. I'd rather not be here when the Nath arrive.
I'm aware. I wasn't prepared for the attacks, but I can hear the colony clattering around us. They're so loud, so... We should be safe. Our pursuers are not like to stray far from the colony.
Suffice it to say, our reunion was not at all as I pictured it. Waiting until the last instant to join the fray. 'Tis plain you have not lost your appetite for the dramatic.
My appetite for the dramatic? Have you forgotten the circumstances of our parting? The heroic last stand, the tunnel filling with light, and then... Had I known you intended to use forbidden magics to deliver me to some god's forsaken wilderness, I would have thanked you in advance.
Thancred.
If nothing else, you might have warned me that I would emerge from the live stream in the all-together.
Oh my god, come on.
Eventually, I managed to fashion knives from some obsidian I found, and set about hunting for meat and hides. Given that I'm not all that skilled in leatherworking, it's probably for the best that I met the Vath before I was reunited with you.
So you were the fleshling clothed in skins of whom the storyteller spoke?
A description which fit me as ill as the skins themselves. Happily, I was able to trade with the Vath for garments better becoming a man of refinement. From them, I learned of Ravana, and of the great warrior who had once laid him low.
And thence did you conclude that were you to track the Primal's movements, it would surely bring you into contact with the Scions once more.
It seemed a reasonable assumption. I could think of no one else with your enthusiasm for slaying beastmen gods. Until now, that is.
Ah, yes. The self-proclaimed Warriors of Darkness. 'Tis only fitting that they stand in opposition to the Warrior of Light, I suppose.
I glimpsed the leaders past, if only for a moment. They were confronting a man in black. An Ascian, I think.
If these warriors are capable of doing battle with Ascians and Primals both, they must be possessed of powerful protection. Protection not unlike the Echo.
Yeah. Didn't expect you were here, man. You're always welcome as an honored guest. Yes, is it? I picked the right adventure for the job. It's helping you. I must say, this gives the Raven a significant advantage. Well, our guests are present. Now, if there's any but I welcome you all to the Gold House. My name is Oliver, and I will be directed the pleasure of serving as your attendant here. As you are well aware, we are currently holding our most famous event yet, Make It Rain campaign, during which a guest may receive up to 50% more MGP, and currently which can be However, some of the Eurasians have yet to grace us with their patronage, so we have invited the most esteemed reporter to and prepare a sizable conversation. Of course, a simple tour would hardly suffice to satisfy such curious minds as yours, so we have taken the liberty of preparing the large. Behold, the Master Mammoth. We have hidden 4 throughout the Glen, 1 each section, including Chocobo Square. You have keen reporter sense that you seek them, and you shall reward exclusive interview with a man himself, President Godbert Manderville of Manderville and Manderville. Oh, it's him, him again. No paper has ever succeeded in securing a personal interview with Godbert Manderville. Can you believe our luck? He's right, an interview with the Godbert Manderville would draw more eyes to Raven than news of any calamity. Damn. This isn't a competition to be taken lightly. The reward is worthwhile, to be sure. Both Master Thrall and I have come here alone, while the Raven seems to have sent 2 reporters. I propose the Harbor Held and the Mithril Eye join forces. That would even the odds. I have no objection to that. The winner of the Manderville seeks to think more pitiful ignorance, and let us damage the rules. In case both teams find the same number of mammoths, the swiftest switch. Let the mammoth hunt begin. Search every corner of the establishment. There are 4 wind guns, which each fits with 2. You wander square around it, and I'll cover it too. anything happens, we can stay in touch with the Krile. Let's find those mammoths. It seems I was quick enough to find memories. Please do for the eye. Oh, thank goodness, we're still in the running. I'll make hasty. And still, the interview is mine, and it's ours, but you must report. You are. Quite impressive work, I must say. I think we should transfer. The likeness, the final result in 3 mammoths found by Reporter Rabbit and 1 found by which means Raven will be supposed to interview with Lynn. Good sportsmanship. Good sportsmanship. Good sportsmanship. Once you've sufficed for yourself, simply speak. I'll be trusted in you. I shall call upon Lord Manos so he can ask you to follow me. While none of it acknowledges Lord Mandible, our staff shall do their best to Good sportsmanship. Good sportsmanship. Well, if we meet again. Oh, my apologies for the way. I take it you're the Eagle-Eye reporter from the Raven. Tell me by none other than my old friend. You haven't decided to doff the mantle of adventure in your reporter calling, have you? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Kifka of the Raven, and I am honored of penning this inclusive interview. This adventurer was kind enough to assist me in this project, so please consider him a temporary member of our staff. Yo. Very good, very good. I'm overjoyed that you host you both as my... Naturally, I expect some initial awkwardness as I become accustomed to the process, but I shall do my utmost to bear both body and soul to... Your candor must much appreciate, Lord Manuel. Now then, perhaps you might share us with exclusive detail regarding the Golden Saucer's creation. Oh, a simple question. I thought you might ask it to divulge a secret to our family's peerless beauty, which has been carefully guarded by generations. Oh, I tend to get there in time, of course, but the objective of my article is to convey the charm of your establishment to my readers, and we're better to start with than with the tales of... Only a reporter of massive looks has the beauty of a man to the beauty of what they wrought. How delightful indeed. Come, allow me to give you a grand tour. Let us head to the rest vessel which rests in the heart of the saucer. From there I shall guide you straight. I'm looking forward to hearing the news. Is there any way you wish to simply first simple atmosphere? Then, if you wish to cancel any pending please. For you, a Gobbard, and your company, this will simply tell me where you wish. 5 years of the Ghost Saucer rose from the central Udal, serving as a beacon from all the realm who sought to. The calamity has dealt to the city states a grievous blow, and each and every citizens have worked tirelessly to save up their homes and heal. I built the Ghost House a place where we can build could forget their worries for a time and remember the feeling of a smile upon their face. A noble purpose, to be sure, especially considering the amount of your own wealth you poured into. To build a literary monument of recreation during such a time must have been a challenge, considering the resources of manpower necessary for such an undertaking. But that is exactly why it had to be done, to give work the hands of the robbed the purpose, and therapy construct the backbone of a thriving economy. I owe a great debt to each of a person under my employ. I wish I was only their hard work and diligent, and the Ghost Saucer was able to aid in her time of need. As the cactus weather hot climate, so do the workers perceive indulgent spirit. The reason I chose Sabaton as our mascot, where the application of senior as a sign of respect for their contribution. As all that being said, the Ghost House is no charity, quite the opposite. I did not fast forward with. We only have much time. Let us perhaps. It's so famous for, eh? Yes, of course, Mount Kor. So majestic over its domain. Have you ever seen its like before? I wager you haven't, for it is a peak that countless visitors climb and descend daily in the construction menu. Do you want... that this was fashioned based on a model. There was, but it must surprise the name of wooden brick familiar. Mount Kor appears in the classic tale of enjoyment as a mountain that fed a booming mine industry. You can see how it would inspire the liberal use of explosives for distraction. We procure our bombs from Galarian artisans, thereby extending the unique commercial opportunity to purchase. Naturally, we need to ensure that the explosives would create a thrilling spectacle without the risk of injury. I spent a day at a fishery wearing a blast powder so to be used so young. I could explore the top of moons. I'm sure your readers wish an article varied the saucer itself. Let's return to... Oh, my name implies that there is a behold Griffin. At present, Master Typhoon usually performs their regular scheduled shows. The Lyle all Thunder. Speaking of Master Typhoon, I heard that he's a terrifying monster who sneezes as powerful enough to send someone flying off their feet. Pardon my goodness, but does it pose a danger to your guests? Danger? No, not at all. You can rest assured that behind Master Typhoon's frightening containment lies the kind heart of a model employee who cares deeply for the safety of our guests. I remember the day Master Typhoon has been ushered into the realm due to a attempt by the summon the voice that after After a journey full of twists and turns, yielded with no means of return from which he came, he decided to seek gainful employment. Once I heard of his story, I knew he would be perfect as one of our attractions. After the requisite job interview, I hired him on the spot. Albert, he didn't get off a sticky start unleashing sneezing upon mighty sneezes in alarming succession. However, once I realized he meant only to offer up a reprieve from a daily blistering, I thanked him for kindness, and he has been amenable to constructive criticism ever since. Of course, you know quite well that how refreshing Master Sneeze can be. Tales of your bout with him and Master Ulthras are still told to this day. Oh, where I've... Yeah, that was a interesting fight. Oh yeah, me and him definitely fought in the Blue Mage. Definitely. Now I remember, I do remember, look. I wonder, was it Vegas as a place where patrons can kick up their feet in a wonder scene, and we arranged for them. The second floor is equipped with a cocktail lounge which offers the realm's finest libation. From what I've heard, this area is among the most popular. Really? Honestly, the exact opposite. Our domain Mosha have received great acclaim since its introduction here. There is not quite like it in the realm. Well, it's brought to my attention, but my employees who spent their time for it, they say they play simple recreation in a space of hospitals or in a fierce competition amongst common folk. Truly, it brings me joy to see that people can come from to enrich themselves with games from distant land. I only hope that we can introduce even more games from places far and wide to people's doors. But there is so much. Perhaps we should. I have more information with several articles. It's been quite a while since I've spoken to my beloved soul at such length. I hope my realm is enough. Or from my realm. I'm quite enjoyed your enthusiasm as well. I'm sure I will. I'm glad to hear. Godbird, we built the coast to rekindle the spark of life. Laughter and smiles. This place serves the field not only as our patron, but workers who totally keep the goal themselves operating smoothly. My greatest hope is for their happiness. I see a beacon of joy, guiding people to the smiles they've forgotten. I believe I can use that. Thank you for everything, Lord Manville. This interview gave me all I need. Oh, it's a pleasure. May your pen burst from information as clouds will rain, as the Gold Saucer does with MGP. Do speak with Olive on your way out. He has something prepared that I believe will bring a smile to you. My goal itself, which feels this establishment immutable. I invite the both of you to return to wherever you please. And now I'm here for you, sir. I think those thoughts which help every moment with them. Thank you. I shall make sure you credit you in an article. We depart. Allow me to present you a small notification. Our event is will be underway as well. Right at once.